All right, welcome to the SnydeReport. Let me fix my mic there. I am your host, Gary Snyder, and with me tonight on this Halloween night is Allen County Democrat Chair. You can see Chad Wierzbinski.
It's a hell of a last name, right?
I got it right.
You got it right. Chairman Chad
right,
is what people just call me sometimes.
That's all I'm going to call you tonight.
Yeah.
You're from now on, the rest of the evening, you are just Chad.
That works.
Because that's kind of like Gary. It's pretty easy.
It is very easy.
Wierzbinski is not.
I mean, I feel sorry for my wife. Let's just put it.
I'm already verbally challenged sometimes. So, well, Chad, welcome.
Hey.
You done trick-or-treating for the evening?
Oh, yeah. We had people coming and going. My kids, I think, did about 130 some odd households and rated them for all the candy they had. And I think we're finally quiet for the evening, hopefully.
Did you get the dad tax in?
They don't know it yet, but yeah, it's already happened a couple of times.
What's your go-to candy bar or candy?
Kick has become the thing lately, and I'm not quite sure why. But they've lost about 6 of those so far tonight.
Yeah, mine is the Snickers. So
I haven't seen any in their bags so far this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So when I was young, we would go out trick-or-treating. My parents would just turn us loose. It was the late 70s and the 80s. And we would come back with trash or bags full of candy.
Yeah.
And my mom would make us dump them into a big bowl because there were 3 of us to start with. And so we would eat out of that bowl. And typically around Thanksgiving, there would just be the shit in there that no one wanted. The round, hard candy. Although the peanut butter, they're come in the orange or the black wrapper. I kind of like those, but, those were always left in there. What is left in the Chad family bowl at the end?
Some years it is just your generic throwaway candy, right? But I think 2 or 3 years ago, the girls decided they didn't want to let anyone have access to their candy, so they put it up in their room. And then a few months later, you're going through there, you're finding the good stuff, like M&Ms and Kit Kats and Twix. Well, because they hid it and then they forgot about it. And so time became the owner of that candy. And so then you bite into one piece and then you schedule the dentist appointment after that. And then it's all the candy goes in the trash. So, yeah.
See, did you take it? And we would always take our kids because we had a lot. We have 7 children, but, I think at the most we ever had trick-or-treating at once was maybe 5 or 6. And we would always take it and disappear for an hour saying we got to check it for razor blades. We got to check it for needles. Make sure you. Is that still done?
Teaching them that Big Brother is constantly looking out for your best interests at heart, right?
Because we live in a neighborhood of weirdos that want to kill children.
Yeah, no, our kids, they're at that age now where they just kind of go off and they meet up with friends and they do their own thing. And we say, hey, before you bounce from between neighborhoods, just check back in real quick so we kind of know which way you're going and whatnot. But,
okay. Well,
everyone kind of back in our day, we were free range kids. We could go anywhere. And I think kids are still largely that way.
Oh, on this night in 1979, we went out trick-or-treating. And my brother kind of took off with a couple of his friends. And by the time we got back, he had a kitten in his bag. Someone put a kitten in his trick-or-treat bag. And we had that cat for 10 years.
My daughters would go nuts at people giving out cats door to door. I am terrified to think of how many cats we would have currently. There'd be no stop to it. And that's fine. The more the merrier.
We live in the middle of nowhere, so we don't, woods. So we get no trick-or-treaters here. But if we did, we have had, I'm going to say about 10 chicks hatch from chickens that had been sitting on eggs secretly. Mm-hmm. So I would be giving out baby chicks tonight if that were the
I think at this point, if we didn't live someplace we had trick or treaters, like I'd be giving out like Act Blue donation link cards so that people could sign up to become recurring donors to the Allen County Democratic Party, or slate cards telling them about why
See,
they should
that's
be a
the
Democrat.
chairman. That's the chairman
Yeah, I
in
mean,
you.
like, listen, you gotta get them involved and bring them into the party as quickly as you can, right?
Well, that brings us to why we have you on here tonight, not to talk about trick-or-treating, but it's always fun. You put out a press release today. You are calling for the Republican state chair
Yep.
of the Republican Party. She's also is it the city clerk treasurer or the county treasurer?
City clerk for the city of Fort Wayne.
Okay. You are calling for her to resign.
Yep.
You put out a press release today. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Lana Keesling, who is the city clerk in Fort Wayne, she was first elected back in November of 2015, and she was sworn in January of 2016. She's been city clerk ever since. In February of last year, she was caucused in as the Indiana Republican Party Chairwoman. Okay, sure. And then she was confirmed again in April when they actually had their reorg. When previous elected officials that have been in the Republican Party have become state party chairperson. The most recent was Tim Berry, who in 2013 was the Republican state party elected official as state auditor. Mm-hmm. He became state party chair, and within 22 days of becoming state chair, he resigned as state auditor. So we looked at Lana becoming state party chair, and we said, okay, there's clearly a precedent that has been set within the Republican Party of how they would handle this. So we will wait. We're not going to throw a big ruckus about this. Lana will do the right thing and will resign as state party chair. And then we got to March and April and May and June, and there just has been no movement whatsoever, no talk about her wanting to step down or anything. And all the while, we're watching Lana kind of go everywhere but Fort Wayne.
Everywhere but her job.
Yeah, right. And they just recently celebrated last week that she had visited now all 92 counties in the state of Indiana.
While on the payroll of the city of Fort Wayne.
Correct, yeah. And so it worked out that she was visiting about one county every 3 days, which is a kind of impressive number. And we even said, like, listen, it's impressive that she's visited all 92 counties, but the city of Fort Wayne deserves to have a full-time city clerk, and especially at a time as we see all this upheaval, right? The effects of Senate Bill 1 are now finally coming to bear on municipalities across Indiana. Fort Wayne just had their budget conversation on Tuesday night. They passed a city budget, but they did cut $8 million out of that proposed budget due to funding being cut in terms of taxes that we're getting from the state. And, now we have redistricting coming through too, right? And Lana Keesling sat there on Tuesday night as the Fort Wayne city clerk, and she said nothing in defense of that budget, even though her party, the party that she leads, are the reason why we are having these budget cuts. And so at some point...
It's the Democrats' fault.
Well, I mean, that's what she said, right? Like, that was her press release today, basically blaming us for everything. But Lana Keesling can no longer serve the Indiana Republican Party and the policies that they are pursuing, the far-right policies that they are pursuing. They're having disastrous effects on municipalities across Indiana, while at the same time being the city clerk of a municipality in which taxpayers ask her every single day to put their interest first. She cannot do both of those roles. And so we decided enough was enough. It was time to call for her resignation today.
How'd that go over?
Oh, I mean, I think they were very receptive to this. I think it was interesting because in the press releases that came out from both Allen County Republican Chairperson Steve Shine and Lana's own press release, not at any point did they push back on any of the things that we say. Steve says that we omitted the date of which they were having their caucus. And I've gone back and checked, and I cannot find a single press release that says that they were going to caucus in a replacement on January 17th. Maybe Steve didn't hit send. Maybe he's just mistaken. But that never happened. Like, if we knew there was going to be a caucus date, we'd probably say, hey, can we move the caucus up sooner? Like, in reality, it'd be nice if Lana resigned today.
Right.
The city of Fort Wayne deserves a full-time city clerk. And Lana just simply said, well, we're trying to distract from the issues that Democrats are failing at in terms of the city, the state, and the nation. And to that, I would simply say that the longest-serving full-time elected official in Fort Wayne currently is Lana Keesling. If the city is at all failing, the person who's been there the longest should be to blame at first and foremost, right? But the city is not failing, and that's because of strong leadership from Mayor Sharon Tucker that we continue to see every single day.
Well, let me ask you a few questions here. And because maybe some of my listeners, they all know, but, I'm going to let you answer these.
Yeah.
So what party owns the governorship right now?
Last time I checked, it's been the Republican Party since 2005.
Okay. And what about the General Assembly, Senate and the House?
Mega Republicans, but the Republican Party since,
And all the statewide offices.
I mean, the Republican Party. I'm not sure where Diego falls, but yes, definitely the Republican Party.
He falls about
over there.
This tall.
Yeah.
Sorry for the short jokes.
I mean, listen, Diego, it's incredible as you kind of go around, you talk to everybody, because I'm not sure there's anybody on either side of the aisle who really likes that guy.
And it's amazing because you see him put out these press, well, Bo Bai just moved back. Where's Diego from? Seriously.
Well, we don't know that because he's been registered and voted in different counties. And so we have no idea where he is. But no,
he was born in Guatemala. He grew up in Guatemala. He moved to the U.S. And you want to bitch about Bo Bai being out of town when he was a Marine and going to school.
Yeah. No, listen, Republicans in the state, they say one thing, they do another. And that's what's so ironic about Lana, right? Steve praises her for all the work she's done, but she's been largely
not working.
Yeah, she's been working. Listen, she has been representing Fort Wayne better than anybody else in Ohio and Switzerland and, Dearborn County, right? She has toured the state, but not in her capacity as city clerk, but still getting paid every single day for being a full-time city clerk. And she just is not doing what we need in the city of Fort Wayne. And the taxpayers of Fort Wayne, at a time when we're having to cut budgets, deserve elected officials who are actually showing up every single day to do that work.
Chad, can you hold through a quick break?
Of course.
You're listening to the Snyder Report. I'm your host, Gary Snyder. We'll be right back.
Fort Wayne's national award-winning Top Haunt to open now through the first weekend of November with Blackout the last weekend, but you will save time and money buying the RSVP timed tickets online. Hysterium.com.
All right, this is the part of the Snyder Report where we thank our sponsors, and we have a growing list. So let's start with Robin Winston. Robin has been there when we first sent out our first email, 147 subscribers. We're now over 108,000. So thank you, Robin Winston, and helping us get the podcast going in the right direction. Next up is our good friend, former Congresswoman Jill Long Thompson. Her book, Across the Aisle, Why Bipartisanship Works for America. Get that anywhere you buy your books. Also, former two-term governor, two-term U.S. Senator Evan Bayh. Evan has been a sponsor of the newsletter, now jumps on board with the podcast. Congressman Andre Carson. Congressman Carson has been there from the start. We're glad to have him over here on the newsletter now. He needs your help to win re-election next year. So make sure you support Congressman Carson. Next up, State Representative Cherish Pryor. Cherish has been there from the start on the newsletter, joining us on the podcast now. So is State Senator Greg Taylor. I want to thank Senator Taylor for all of his support through the years. Next, we have a couple of new sponsors. First up is Indiana Citizen. You want to check out their new project, One Heartbeat Away. Do Christian nationalists have an agenda for Indiana? All you have to do is look at the lieutenant governorship and you can see right away that they do. So thank you, Indiana Citizen. Next up is Jump Laundry. You can visit them at jumplaundry.com. They have home pickup. They do your dry cleaning, wash and fold with, I might add, no judgments, and next day service. So if you're in a crunch for time, you don't want to do your own laundry, get a hold of Jump Laundry at jumplaundry.com or at 317-740-5011, and they will take care of all of your laundry needs.
Washington politicians came to Indiana to get us to cheat and redraw our legislative maps. They want you to spend millions so they can rig the system and silence your voice. Hoosiers play fair. We don't need their meddling. We need our elected officials focusing on what we need most, making our lives better, lowering taxes, and bringing down the cost of energy and groceries. So tell your legislators, don't let Washington insiders rig our elections. Solve real problems and earn our votes.
Welcome back to the Snyder Report. I'm your host, Gary Snyder. With me today is Chad, Helen County Chairman.
What I should do is have like a name tag that just has my last name right on there. But
We'll just call you Chad.
it works. When my wife calls me Chad, I know I'm in trouble. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's with us, it's Gary, can you do that? And I'm like, yes, Pepper.
Yeah, where's Pepper tonight?
She's out watching scary movies.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, listen,
you know, when I hear my first name, I've got to fire back with her first name, which is very rarely.
yeah, you don't want to do that.
No.
It's a scary movie just reading about the state of Indiana under Republicans.
You know, you would think.
I mean,
but
yeah.
I think my two daughters and my wife were out there. They're watching some warm up a scary movie before they get to I think it's Hocus Pocus. I think they're gonna watch,
Oh, that's a classic.
and Halloween Town,
Oh, yeah.
and I've already watched Charlie Brown tonight. I think I've seen it like 5 times this season. So and you know, this tomorrow behind me, it's all gone, and it will be a winter wonderland for my next podcast.
Isn't it amazing?
So we're that family.
Isn't it amazing how quickly that all just goes away? Like, boom.
September 1st, it looks like that.
Nope.
November 1st,
Boom.
you'd think we were in Christmas Town. So she's traveling the state, dereliction of duty, and all the while, the Republicans now are talking about redistricting, trying to get rid of the 2 final Democrat seats in Indiana because, I think, as some of them put it, Democrats have gerrymandered for too long, even though it's been 25 years since Democrats actually drew them out.
Yeah.
So as a state chair and the state chair of the state's second largest county, your thoughts on the redistricting?
I mean, you want to laugh initially, right? Because it's just so preposterous. And then you just realize how terrible it's going to be as Republicans seek to disenfranchise millions of Hoosiers, all simply to appeal a failed president. Yeah, I mean, the last time I checked, Hoosiers in the 1st Congressional District voted last year that they wanted a Democrat to represent them, Frank Murphy. And last year, Democrats in the 7th Congressional, actually voters in the 7th Congressional District voted that they wanted Andre Carson to represent them. They did not.
Two people that have done a great job
Yes.
for those 2 districts.
Yes. I mean, Frank Mervan has carried the water for the 1st in ways that they, like, honestly, I'm not sure any Republican or Democrat could have up there. And Andre Carson consistently represents the 7th amazingly in Congress. I mean, you could not ask for 2 better congressmen. Marlon Stutzman, if you'd like to take notes, we'd really appreciate it here in the 3rd.
He's too busy trying to get tariffs on Wagyu beef semen.
Yeah. But I think what's really interesting, right, is that the argument that you're seeing put forward by Republicans in Indiana is that, well, since President Trump won Indiana in 2024, our map should be reflective of that. And that's the exact same line that Steve Shine used here in Allen County earlier in the week. And my question to these Republicans, as we consider that very logic, is that if in 2009, House Democrats had decided they wanted to redraw the maps, because the Democrats did control the state House at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we had said, well, listen, President Obama won Indiana in 2008, and therefore Indiana's congressional district should be representative of that. We're going to redraw those maps. I don't think Steve Shine or Lana Keesling would believe in that argument. They would be like, no, we have to respect the will of the people. And so either Lana and Steve are right in 2025, or Lana and Steve would have to be right in 2009, and those both can't be the same.
Or follow me here. They're
Yeah.
just hypocrites.
Exactly. And that's what's so terrible, right? Because at the end of the day, what their goal is to do is to put in 2 new congressmen who all they're going to do is be yes votes for a Trump administration that is failing Hoosiers every single day. And there are going to be people who are going to realize that their voice no longer matters. And that is one of the things that Republicans have done year after year, is make sure that Hoosier voters do not believe that their voice matters on election day. Here in Allen County, we've been calling through, talking to voters who did not vote last year, right? To say, hey, why did you not turn out? And the overwhelming message is that they believe that their one singular vote does not matter on election day. And I've told this to our caucus here in Allen County several times. I've told it to our various groups, at events I go to. I used to live in Woodburn, Indiana. I grew up in a rural community. And in 2003, I went to vote for Woodburn mayor, and I didn't know who I was going to vote for. I joked with my mother I was going to write my name in, right? And she told me, definitely don't do that. So I voted for Richard Hepner, who was running for mayor. That night, turn on the news, see what the results are. Richard Hepner won by 1 vote. So what I would tell Hoosiers, right, in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, is that your 1 vote does matter. Don't listen to the Republicans. You have to go out and vote. We don't have a voter registration problem here in Indiana, right? Especially not here in Allen County. We have a turnout problem. And Democrats have been saying that for too long. But just simply saying, hey, guess what? They're bad, we're good, isn't going to get people to go out and vote. We have to go talk to voters in ways we haven't done in years. Ironically, since the Obama campaign in 2008 turned out voters to go vote, right? And so Allen County has been, I think, one of the counties at the forefront of going out and actually listening to voters and talking to them and connecting with them, right? Vanderburgh County, Hamilton County are 2 other ones who are doing great jobs at that. I talk with their chairs consistently, but we cannot try to register our way out of this problem. We have to talk to voters, connect with them, and get them to the polls.
I am asked consistently by some friends of mine that are in politics, how does pasty white voter like you, Gary, how does that voter not vote for MAGA in the upcoming election? What makes him turn? Is it the economy, or is it that they just don't want brown people in office? So my question to you, what turns Huntington or Huntertown or New Haven rural voter away from MAGA? And I told him, my answer is they're going to have, they're going to have to make a choice. Is it that they don't like brown people, or they don't like being poor? Which one do you not like most?
Yeah, I think I look at some of the candidates we already have here in Allen County for next year. And when they're going out and talking to people, they're talking about real world issues, but they're talking to them and asking probing questions, not trying to just tell them what they believe that person they're talking to should believe. And so we're going to have to do some actual real conversations, right? But if you look at some of these rural areas, LaGrange County, for example, right? I've been talking to LaGrange County a lot. They have in their database, it says there are 400 strong Democrats in LaGrange County, but 2,400 people voted for Kamala in 2024. So where are those extra 2,000 people? How do we find them and build out from those areas, right? In Huntington County, Christine Boehm, she's doing the work, right?
She is. I mean,
brand new headquarters that is beautiful.
One of the best chair people in the state.
She and I joke that we're big sister, little brother. I think that's probably the best. Yeah, they are. And we yell at each other constantly. But I know Christine Boehm is one of those chairs who will be there, come hell or high water to get Democrats out to go vote, right? And there's not a better county chair that I want to work with. And so I think what we need to do is make sure that we are talking to those voters about the issues they care about. Listen, it's funny. You go talk to most voters and you say, they're not going to ask you about the border wall, right? They're going to talk to you about issues that are tabletop issues. Hey, guess what? When I go buy stuff, it's still costing more and more money, right? How do we fix that?
I have to buy the beef pork mix now because it's $4 a pound and not $7.
Well, I was talking to somebody. I was out with a couple of friends and whatnot. And we were out, and somebody said, "Hey, I saw you on the news." And I go, "Well, yeah, it's entirely possible." And they go, "I agree with what you say that things were really bad, but are they really that bad? They can't be that bad." And I go, "Well, ironically, do you know that the value of the U.S. dollar has fallen more since Trump came into office than at any point in the last 50 years?" So it's not so much that things are costing more, that prices are getting raised. Your dollar just goes a whole lot less further.
Right.
And they're like, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, yeah. And so how do you fix those policies? Like, we got to get rid of tariffs. We've got to let people who are actually going to do the real work, who aren't just going to be yes men. And I think when we connect to people on those economic issues, that's where we really get through to them.
Anything else you want to cover tonight, Chad?
Listen, we have a little less than 12 months left to go until Election Day next November. There is a lot of work to be done. A lot of work. Like
A lot
of work, right? But listen, if you know someone who wants to run for office, if you know someone who wants to volunteer, get with your county party, call up your county chair, if they have a website, go to their website, try to get involved. But in 2026, we need people to stop sitting on the sidelines. I know we said this in 24 and 22 and 20 and whatnot, but like, listen, there is no better time than next year where we have the most offices up in every single county, because you have township, county councils, county commissioners, county-wide, state house, state senate, U.S. House. In Allen County, we have over 130 races, right? Get involved. Don't be sitting at home a year from now on Election Day saying, I wish I had done something. Just go do it, please.
Thank you, Chad.
Hey, my pleasure, sir.
I am Gary Snyder. He is not. He is Allen County Chairman Chad.
Hey.
This is the Snide Report, and we are out.